This podcast is sponsored by BB Mates, a family-run personalised gift company. From sports bottles to team merchandise, BB Mates has you covered. They will happily work with you to create unique designs for your perfect gift, with a wide range of products, all able to be personalised with names, quotes, pictures and much more. Head over to bbmakes.com. That's www.bebemakes.com and use the code COIS so they know that we sent you. Oh, and of course, come on you Spurs.
Welcome to the Spurs News Podcast, your home for all things Tottenham Hotspur. Now, here are your hosts.
Hello everybody and welcome to a new episode of the Spurs News Podcast. I am Sam. Joining me to discuss the latest happenings in the mad and wonderful world of Tottenham Hotspur, it's Stefan.
Hello and welcome to the Brennan Johnson Show. How are we doing?
Do you feel any shame at all when you flip flop on stuff?
None at all.
None whatsoever.
I've always supported Brennan. I've been Brennan fan since he joined.
Okay.
You know this.
Okay, so you don't recall at all a couple of weeks ago questioning him as if he's ever going to make it.
No, that does not sound like something this flip flop would do.
Okay, all right. Just throwing that out there. I mean, yeah, okay.
You wait until Timo Werner finds form. Then.
Yeah, no, we're going to come on to poor Timo later on. So look, we got an absolutely insanely packed show. We've been for the last few weeks tangents and rambles and going over the sort of hour slot and generally not getting to everything I want to get to. So today I am determined. So what I'm going to do is I've literally got it all written down and we're going to kick off with, I mentioned weeks and weeks and weeks ago we were going to do something for charity, try and raise a little bit of money in association with our sponsors, bbmakes.com. They have put forward some designs for us on some tumblers, like drinks tumblers with handles, which look pretty cool. My daughter assures me are very in fashion. I don't know. I mean, she's a teenager, so she knows these things. Me, I don't know. Yep. So we are going to get those out to everybody to have a look at next week. Thank you to everybody who's shown an interest so far. And apologies, we just not done it yet, but it will be done this week. The second little bit of admin to kick off with is anyone who follows us on the Facebook page, possibly Instagram as well, we do game updates, and in those game updates we use graphics. In the past they've always been very simplistic, something you could put together on Word, that level of simplicity. A listener, Ben Thierry, has designed us some nice new graphics for like kickoff, halftime, full-time, goal conceded, sadly.
They look so good.
And they're great, and we used them for the first time last night in the Europa League game. So anyone who noticed a big difference in our graphics game, big thank you to Ben. So
he's done them to match the kits we're wearing as well, hasn't he?
He has, yeah. So we got
so good.
he was going to do all three kits. I told him not to. I told him just to do the green for away and then white for home, and then I'll just use them like that, away and home. The blue, because our actual logo this season kind of goes with the blue and white, so we've always got that repped anyway.
Yep.
So the first game to talk about: Manchester United 0, Tottenham 3. Now, as you are a closet Man United fan, how did you find that hammering your team got?
I'm not a closet Man United fan, and I enjoyed that game a lot more than I thought I would.
Now, you lying now, little Man United fan, little Red Devil.
I'm not a little Man United fan.
No, you sure?
I'm not a United fan.
All right, okay. Just want to make sure you're not upset, because I don't want to get into this podcast and you get all, start shouting at me about it.
No. See, I found the game very enjoyable.
Yeah.
As soon as we scored the first goal, all my nerves went. The way we scored the goal, and then it was just kind of, Yeah, this
So,
is our day.
wow, I wish I had that.
I don't know why I did. Like last night's game, I didn't feel that at any point. But for some reason, against Man United, with their recent like form and mentality issues
yeah.
and stuff, that first goal went in, and I went, yeah, it's our day.
Well, I'm going to come on to the Europa League game because I do think I know why you didn't feel that way, and it's a point I want to make later on. But with regards to the Manchester United game, I didn't feel it at all. Now, there is no logical reason, really, when you look at the way we were playing, you look at how very little Manchester United offered in terms of effort or anything, really. But we dominated them in every aspect of the game. Our pressing was excellent, passing was crisp and fast. Everything about the way we were playing was good. You know, we scored early in the game. We should have been 2-3-0 up at half time, and that was always a worry, the way things have gone.
Yeah,
So I guess my kind of stress levels were, we've scored early and we tend to just sit back. You know, oh no, oh we're missing chances. Oh god, oh you know,
here we go. They're going to
yeah.
score in a
They're
second.
not.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's not going to be as bad in the second half. There's no way. Now, when we got our second fairly early in the second half, I did have a little bit of a moment then of like, okay, I feel a little bit better.
yeah.
But they kind of rallied. There was like five or 6 minutes where Man United really got on top of us, and I was like, from 2-0 up, if we lose, like my heart's gonna break. Like losing it from here
Your
against
messages
10
in the
men.
group chat were amazing.
Yeah, it was just like okay,
This
like
is going to suck.
yeah, like we're 2-0 up. They're down to 10 men. This is really gonna suck when we lose this.
Yeah.
It was just this horrible kind of anxiety feeling that Tottenham have given me through years and years of training. Really, I mean,
It's just years and years of abuse. That's what you've had to endure.
yeah, because like
It's
someone,
like the most toxic relationship you can be in, Tottenham Hotspur.
yeah, and I've been in some toxic
It is.
relationships. It is, you know, this is bad. I mean, like there's trauma. Like every Tottenham fan can probably think of, but we've managed to repress a lot of traumatic. But I remember my first severe trauma from supporting Tottenham was being like 4-0 up in an FA Cup game against 10 men and losing 5-4.
Yeah, sounds about right.
I'm pretty sure that was Man City, and like,
Yeah.
it just like broke me into like. I remember being 3-0 up against Man United and losing 5-3.
Yeah, I remember that was the one. That was my first traumatic one. I think was
Yeah,
that one. 3-0 at half time.
you know, there's a lot. I remember being 3-0
Yeah.
up against West Ham with 10 minutes to go, and it ended
Oh.
3-3, and it really should have been 4-3 to them. Like, there's a lot, you know, there's a lot of trauma, and so when I'm watching this game, so when the game finished, and I'm like, oh, we just battered United 3-0. I am often in this weird place of like, God, I wish I could have enjoyed that.
It's like relief more than excitement.
Yeah, like the stress, like the level of stress, like, and then I get to watch it back, and I'm like, oh wow, that was so good. We were so good. But in it, I'm just like, oh, here we go. They're gonna score. Oh. So yeah, I mean, please message in. Let me know I'm not alone in that, because I get so frustrated with myself as well. It's like, oh, I can't just relax and enjoy it. It's like, but I can't. It means a lot, and yeah, it bugs me.
Yeah. Football's an entertainment business, is it? Heck.
Yeah, is it? Fuck, yeah. So I just want to quickly circle Van de Ven for that assist for the first goal. Two things from this I wanna circle. One, what an incredible run. I love his kind of attitude post match as well. As like, I took the ball, there was space, I go into the space.
Yeah.
Just like,
I haven't seen a centre back make a run like that with the ball
since he did it
since
a
Van
few
de
weeks
Ven.
ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's incredible. He is a player all of us are just in awe of, and we should all very much enjoy him while we have him. It's just incredible. He did that. It was amazing. One of the things I really enjoyed about it was the fact that he just basically waltzed past De Ligt, you know, the great Dutch centre half as
The
Van de
person
Ven.
that's keeping him out of the Dutch national team.
Yeah, just
It's just,
strode
it makes
past
me
him.
laugh. It makes me laugh so much because, like, if anybody on that pitch for United should know the danger that Mickey can give you, it would be someone who plays with him in the international team.
Yeah, I mean,
for some reason, he thought, I'll take him on in a foot race.
Yeah, no, that was. I
like,
mean, that was
that's
fun.
not going to work.
I also particularly liked Brennan Johnson with a grin from ear to ear as the ball arrived to him. Not
Before
like,
it even kicked in.
Not a relief of I've scored and I'm happy. It was, I know I'm about to score. Mickey van der Ven, you are a beast. That was incredible.
Yeah, so much.
So not only do you make that run and you're a centre back, like I equate centre backs to like my game of rugby, which is like a prop when he breaks into the open, generally looks panicked. Like, now what do I do? Like, oh no. But no, Mickey van der Ven goes through and delivers probably the best cross of any player in our team has ever delivered. And Johnson arrives like he is just now nailed on, trained to do, and is arriving just like, dink, thank you very much. 1-0. So that was incredible. Absolutely loved that.
Mickey van der Ven's his final touch before the cross. He like knocks it forward into the box, and in my head I'm like, oh, he's knocked it too far.
No, not when you're that quick.
He manages to somehow drop another gear to speed up, and I'm like, how have you run that far?
Yeah.
And then found more pace?
Yeah, I do sometimes, especially now I'm very old, look at them when they've run like the full length of the pitch and then put in a sprint and then jog back, think, wow. That's incredible. How's he not dead? Surely you need to lie down for an hour now. This seems insane to me. But yeah, another little thing that I liked is that Jan Vertonghen, I'd say retweet, but I think it was Instagram, kind of saw the goal and put a little comment along the lines of, yeah, that's not a bad assist. It's up there with mine. Where Jan Vertonghen basically just miscontrolled the ball to Sonny, who ran the length of the pitch and scored, and Jan still claims it's the best assist in history.
I love Jan for that. It has so many more reasons. But
for absolutely everything. But it's the fact that Super Jan still watches us every week makes me smile. Yep. I like that.
Oh yeah,
and he really does as well. Like, he is consistently with his kind of like posting pictures of him watching us with coys and stuff like that. So yeah, I love Super Jan. The other part of this, of course, in the game is a red card for Bruno Fernandes. This was hotly debated by everybody, Tottenham fans, Man United fans, neutrals. The referee saw it as a red straight away. VAR saw no reason to overrule the referee. But then after the game, Man United appealed it and it was overturned straight away. It was downgraded to a yellow.
He did pretty much the exact same thing last night and got a second yellow and sent off for it.
Yeah.
It's like, come on.
So, I
understand it was a slip. Like, I understand he slips because you can see his foot go.
Yeah.
But I have never fallen over and my instant reaction is to throw the other leg up in the air at something.
Yeah, so So my opinion is on this is that it is a red card because he's out of control. Now, he's out of control because he's falling. But my opinion is when you make contact with someone that high up on the leg, that's a red card. Now in this game, in this era, for sure. I mean, when I was younger watching football, that wasn't even a foul. You know, oh look, his leg's in half. Isn't that funny? That's how you tackle.
Yeah, the other foot touched the ball, it's fine.
Look, Vinnie Jones is stamping on that man's head, silly Billy. You know, that was the game then. But the game's different now.
Game. Yeah.
One of the things that I often debate with people is because they were like, "Oh, but he only glanced him. You know, Matters got straight back up." I'm like, "Yeah, but that shouldn't be the ruling factor in if it's a red card or not. Like, if you go 100%. In reckless on someone and they manage to just about avoid you, that doesn't stop the fact you went in recklessly and it's dangerous. If you shouldn't just see red if it's a red, like you break someone's leg, oh, that's a red card then. Sometimes you can break someone's leg in an absolute legitimate challenge, accident or whatever.
Do you remember a couple of seasons ago, wasn't it? Aurier ran into Son, who then ran into the Everton player who broke his leg.
Yeah, and Son got sent off.
Son got sent off for it, and it was like, but he got run into and then bumped in. Like, he didn't tackle him,
No.
but he got a red card because the guy broke his leg.
Yeah, so to me, it's a weird thing. But so when I saw it and I saw the replay, I went, yeah, okay, that's a red card. I can see why the referee's given that.
Out of control, high boot. Yep, red.
Yeah, so that's how I view it. A lot of other people view it differently, and that's fine. I think it's a subjective opinion, but at the end of the day, the referee is the person who makes the call. Now, what I do think is farcical, however, is that the referee on the pitch, who we are all told we need to respect the ref. Respect the referee, yes. The referee's decisions are there. VAR is not there to overrule referees unless it's a clear and obvious error. So that means that one referee saw that as a red card. A second referee looked at it and went, I can see why you've given that as a red. I see no reason to downgrade it. And then another referee, again, after the game, has gone, no, that shouldn't have been a red. And so it's been downgraded to a yellow and his suspension's been lifted.
Yeah.
So at what point does another referee, and then it gets stupid. Now, the point that Ange makes on a regular basis that he doesn't like VAR is re-refereeing the game. It's like if a referee makes a mistake in a game, it's aggravating and frustrating, but it's no one's doing that deliberately. We're all human. If VAR looks at 10 replays, agrees with the referee, then why is someone else then looking at more replays to rejudge it again? It doesn't make sense to me. Like, this whole VAR thing was supposed to end the debates, and yet it's made it worse. So look, I'm not going to go into a big VAR thing again because we've done it so many times, but I wanted to kind of highlight that. I don't like if they downgraded it to a yellow on the day, again, I'd probably been like, okay, I guess he was falling, but, I might have just been like, oh, all right, fair enough then. But they didn't.
Yeah.
So that means two different referees looked at that, one in real time, one with countless camera angles and replays and slow-mos, and they agreed it was a red card. So when that's been overturned, are you saying that both those referees have done their jobs wrong?
So in that case, both of them should be taken out of the line of duty for the next weekend because they've made a massive error.
But to be clear, they're not. Both of them are refereeing this week. So what's going on? Because that to me then goes, that's subjective opinion then. The referee on the pitch had an opinion it was a red. The referee in the VAR thing had an opinion of, I agree with you. I don't see any reason. Because that's their remit. Do I see a reason to bring that back to a yellow? And he's looked at it and gone, no. So then another referee's looked at it. So it's mad. Like, it is mad to me. But anyway, we're both in agreement. We both feel that actually, red card seemed fair in that moment. Yeah, I agree. Overall performance then. I know you're a closet United fan, but your team getting hammered 3-0. Did you feel it was a good performance?
Very happy. I was very happy all round.
Yeah.
I think even losing kind of Doggy to a potential injury and having Spence come on, absolutely seamless. Like last season,
great thing to highlight. I agree.
Last season we lost one of our fullbacks, and there was an obvious downgrade in performance.
Agreed.
Destiny went off. Spence came on, seamless. And I think that's probably the highest praise I can give.
No, I completely agree with you. He's right-footed as well, playing in the left back, and the game just continued. I'm glad you highlighted that. That was a really, really good point. My last point for the Man United game then is around media reaction. We talked about this on the show a number of times, and we talked about different aspects of this at different times, and I want to get your take on it, because every single show, every single highlight show, whether it's match of the day, highlight show, whatever, led with, Manchester United were awful.
Oh, mate, it was so when I'm at work, as I think I've mentioned this before on the podcast, when I'm at work, I have TalkSport on in the background.
Yeah.
Just because I like to hear they talk about sport. Some of it's quite funny. I like having it in the background.
I'm sorry, they talk about what on TalkSport?
Sport, apparently. Sometimes.
Whoa.
Unless
mind blown. They took that's insane.
Unless you listen between 1 and 4, then it's just awful. But apart from that.
Well, what happens between 1 and 4?
Hawksby and Jacobs, I think it's the people that are doing it. But
And they don't talk about sport.
They do slightly. They're basically, what I've worked out is they're two old, retired, not very good comedians.
Yeah.
That support a football team. So therefore,
Ouch.
yeah, pretty much. But like the whole day was just Man United awful. Man United were awful.
Yeah.
How bad were United? Is Ten Hag going to get sacked? How bad? Have they stopped playing for their manager? How bad were they? And I was like,
so you see
at
that
some point
that
they're going to
annoyed. Yeah, I mean that annoyed
Tottenham.
me from the point of view of Tottenham played really well, but that must have really bugged you as a Man United fan that they were just slagging your team off the whole time.
I am not United. I don't know where this has come from.
It's come from you, Wilfred, and it's a West Ham thing as well. I'm going to bring it up when we play them soon. You basically admitted you loved them. I remember.
I've never said love.
I remember it clearly about special places in your heart, I think is the words. We did actually get a message in from someone who said that they noticed you were too ill to watch us play in Europe, but you watched the Man United game. Is that because you're a Man United fan? And that cracked me up.
I'm going to get so much hate mail.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's great. I love it when you get stick and everyone likes me for once. It's fun. So no, it was 3-0 and the media narrative around that. Now, is that just I'm a Tottenham fan and I feel a bit annoyed by that? Or is it that genuinely, like, say we got beat 3-0 at home by, I don't know, Brentford. Pardon me saying Brentford, but would all the narrative be that Tottenham were crap in that instance?
No, I genuinely think it is purely because it was Man United.
Your beloved Man United.
Every match they've played this season,
yeah,
the whole thing has always been about United.
Yeah,
it's almost like the other team weren't even there.
Yeah, not a factor in anything. Yeah.
No, it is just purely, the great Man United are rubbish again, sort of thing. And that's like the narrative. It's like they're not even great. They are at the moment a mid-table team. Like for the last couple of seasons, they have been a mid-table team.
I'm sorry, man. That must be tough for you to admit, but that's good. It's good that you're getting it out.
But they are just, I think it's because of the global brand that they are.
Yeah.
Every match, no matter who they play against.
Yeah.
I think they've got Aston Villa this weekend. I guarantee you, Aston Villa beat them and play them off the park. It will be, the end for Ten Hag. That's it, Man United rubbish again. The Aston Villa won't get a look in.
No,
I think that's just the way the narrative goes. I think at the moment.
Okay,
I think it's the same for Arsenal and City though. If Arsenal and City don't get a win, it's always kind of how bad did they do, not how well the other team played.
Yeah, but they're the two best sides in the league right now.
So that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas Man United, I'm
Chelsea
sorry,
just an absolute car crash. So everyone's like, yeah.
I'm sorry to say this. I don't want to hurt your feelings, but Man United are shite right now.
They are mid-table team, aren't they?
Yeah. You're all right. I don't want to keep hurting you, so we'll move on. We'll move on from Man United. It's time to hand across to our fans.
Now it's time for your comments from our social media.
You know, I think this is the first time since doing this we've not had any questions on Facebook.
It's funny how it's on a week where we're doing really well and people haven't anything to moan about.
Yeah, it's weird. Weird, very weird. But Instagram, we got a message from the Johnny Stark show. John Stark himself says, when does the official Brennan Johnson apology tour begin? I don't know about apology tour. I think FU tour is working quite well.
The FU tour is rolling through many different towns.
Yeah,
it's even on a European tour now.
Yeah. I'm enjoying that. I mean, that's 5 games, 5 goals. I know, right, on Twitter, the people with the blue ticks are after interactions because they can earn a little bit of money on that app now if you're a blue ticker and you get a lot of interactions. So I know that when I see something dumb, stupid, moronic tweeted by one of these accounts, I should just ignore it. Because
as soon as you see that blue tick,
because I know what they're after. Right? I know what they're after. But I did snap at one that said, Brennan Johnson, proof that bullying works. Oh, it's just like, you.
You are the problem. You are the problem. Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty rare where I look at a person and think, God, I'm so much better than you. But I am to that particular individual. So yeah, that kind of shit annoys me. That there's now the Brennan Johnson haters are now taking credit for his turnaround. That
Yeah.
that aggravates me. Yeah, quite a lot. It also shows there's an underlying racism to it as well, by the way, because there's a few white players on the Tottenham side whose form is terrible, and they don't seem to be getting anywhere near the level of abuse. Strange that. Okay, so on our podcast we have part of the team is Polynesian Dan. Polynesian Dan wanted to bring up these points and wanted us to discuss it on the show.
Yes.
I'm going to read it as he's written it. He says, caveat, super happy with how things have been going recently. But, did Ange Postecoglou make a mistake not giving Spence a European place? It already feels like we are missing a natural alternative fallback option in Europe and we are only 2 games in. Follow-up question. Supposing we are back in Europe competition year in and year out, how do Tottenham address this issue of homegrown club trained going forward next year?
Re-sign Winks and Skip, and happy days.
Winks, Skip, and Edwards, come on down.
Yeah, welcome back.
How do we address it? Okay, so let's do the first thing first. Do I think Ange's made a mistake? Man, it is difficult because the way the squad rules are, there's a fantastic article written by the journalist Alistair Gold for Football London. An article so good on this subject, by the way. Ange read it himself and complimented it. Because he was like, Ali knows what he's doing with this. It's frigging complicated. And it is. Mate. He probably said mate at some point.
Yeah.
Now, the way the decision sort of burned down to was there was one place left, and it was between Fraser Forster in goal and Jed Spence. And the decision Ange went with is he would rather have an experienced goalkeeper than as a backup in case, than have, because he felt he has Gray who can slot in and do job, where he felt like he had other players who could come in at full-back options. Now, with this, it is always, yeah, but then happens. Like, so for example, he's named that squad. Udogi has then been struggling with muscle injury in his quad. Pedro Porro clearly does need rotating because otherwise the guy run himself into the ground. So you then have this situation of that happening and all of us looking at it going, well, that was dumb. You got Jed right there who's been great. That was dumb. Now, if he'd named it the other way round and Vicario, bang, breaks his arm, he's out. You ain't going to have Vicario for the entire group stage. Every fan will be glaring at him going, what's the point of having an experienced backup if you're not going to name him in the squad? We've now got Austin and Whiteman, who basically have never started a game for the club, as our only goalkeepers in Europe.
Now, as much as I fully rate Austin as a very, very good goalkeeper.
Yeah, and Whiteman for the vibes.
Whiteman for the vibes, yeah. I can kind of see the argument of if something was to happen to Vicario, we have Fraser there.
Yeah.
But then we played the game last night and he starts Vicario and I'm like, if we're not gonna name the extra fullback because we want the goalkeeper, surely play the bloody goalkeeper.
Why?
Because I think if he had have played Fraser last night,
we probably would have lost.
Yeah, Vicario made some cracking saves, to be fair.
Yeah, unbelievable saves.
He made some unbelievable saves. But I think if Fraser had started last night, then I think the question marks over needing Spence wouldn't have been as much.
Well, I don't see that because the whole reason what you're putting Foster there is for emergencies. Like for me, goalkeepers don't need rotating. If you've got a goalkeeper who isn't fit enough to play 2-3 games in a week, then he ain't a goalkeeper at this level.
No, I 100% agree.
So,
I do agree.
So my whole point around Forster being in the squad is around an injury, like an emergency. So I don't think he should start these games at all. I again, Polynesian Dan, we went down a rabbit hole the other day talking about cup, we as a side getting into cup games, semi-finals, finals, and stumbling, not performing. And he went back to an FA Cup semi-final against Man United, where we lost 2-1. And Pochettino, because he'd picked him in every other round, put Vorm in goal. Now, I got nothing against Michel Vorm. Thought he was an excellent backup goalkeeper. But he wasn't on the level of Lloris.
No, and in a cup semi-final, you need to be playing your best team.
Yeah, because also it's a signal, isn't it? It's a signal to the opposition and to your own team that you're taking it bloody seriously. Like, this is our strongest side.
Yeah.
So, again, I feel there's mistakes there. I thought it was a mistake at the time, and I still think it's a mistake now. So, for me, like, when you've got a back four that's being rotated, you've got a midfield that's being rotated, etc., having the goalkeeper there, who's part of the leadership group now as well, very vocal, very clear, I think it's important. I think he should be playing every game that he's fit to play. Obviously, if we draw Akrons and Stanley at home, then that's the game for Forster to get minutes.
Agreed.
With Vicario sat on the bench. I think away in Europe at a stadium that only one English club in the last 30-odd years have got a result at, I think Vicario
That was an incredible stat, that was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
No, I agree. Like, I am one of these people that I understand why they can't, but would like to see the strongest 11 starting every match.
Yeah.
Because it shows you want to win. Now, obviously, I understand the amount of games in football now, you can't do that. And at the same time, I was absolutely over the moon to see Will and Mikey start last night.
Yeah.
But at the same time, would love to have seen Big Dom play. And, so it's a balancing act, isn't it?
It is.
And I think, yeah.
But is it a mistake? I mean, it's difficult.
Time will tell, I guess, is the only way you can really say.
I mean, Udogie out injured, it looks like a mistake. If Vicario had been out injured and it was the other way around, that would have been a mistake. I think it's a highlight of a bigger issue, because there's no way on this earth Ange wouldn't want both of them in the side. Like, he would want to be able... The mismanagement of previous years to allow all the homegrown talent to leave and us to be left in a position where, we're in Europe. I mean, it is a squad building issue which is now being corrected, but it isn't going to be corrected overnight, and it isn't going to be corrected possibly by next season. The second part of this question, it's international break next week. So I think what I'll do is I'll put this and do a bit of reading on it, a bit of research, and then we'll discuss that next week. I think that's probably the best things. We won't have a game to discuss or two games to discuss anyway. We'll have one.
Yes.
So I think that's the way forward.
We'll circle back. Yeah.
We've also had a request come in for a loan update, and I did say I'd try and do this once a month. Again, I'm going to do that next week in the international break, because there's less games to talk about, so I will go through it. So that brings us to the Europa League game. Ferencváros 1, Tottenham 2. I'm going to walk through, just initially, your overall feeling on the game. I mean, it was a 2-1 win, probably should have been 2-0, just switched off in the last minute. Well, what did you think?
Very nervy start.
Yeah.
Their disallowed goal was a bit of a, that's a let off.
Yeah, it was lucky.
Sort of moment. And then we kind of had to control after that, I think, really, up until the last 5 minutes or so when we went 2-0 up and kind of laid back a bit.
Yeah.
Apart from that, I felt nervous pretty much the whole way through. But again, I think that's just Tottenham away in Europe.
Well,
I think that's just kind of built in for me to go, Tottenham in Europe, we're going to do something like, I remember being at a match where we got knocked out of Europe and their manager was in jail. Like,
Yeah.
Again, talk about Spurs trauma.
Well, I got this. So I completely get what you're saying about that, about the kind of, you know, I talked about it with your beloved Man United, you know, and how I felt even though we were winning that game 3-0. When it comes to this, and it's Ferencváros away, they had that goal ruled out for VAR, so I mean, that can happen in a game. That was kind of like, holy crap, that was lucky. And they did create a couple of things, especially later on, but I actually felt we played pretty well. We were a hodgepodge at the back with Gray starting in central defence and then moving to left back. Now, Gray positionally is struggling with that role because he doesn't seem to have the level of pace Doggy and Porro have to get back, but his natural tendency is to get into that midfield overload. And so teams, whenever Gray's been at a fullback, I've noticed that teams will literally funnel all of their attacks down that side and get behind him.
And I think the other problem with him was he played a lot last season as a right back for Leeds.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
And we're now chucking him on the other side of the pitch.
Well, I mean, we've chucked him everywhere. He's played right back, left back, central. So,
he is Mr. Versatile this season.
Yeah, I mean, the thing to remember is he's 18 as well. You know, it's not.
You can see he's putting in 120%. Like, by the end of the games, he looks absolutely shattered. Like, he's putting everything out on the pitch, and I've got to commend him for that.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm certainly not berating him. I'm just saying that, you know, he's 18, he's playing out of position, and he's doing well, but clearly teams are noticing that and are exploiting it.
Yeah.
Now, he other than that, I mean, we were largely in control. But the reason why I think you, me, and possibly everybody, Tottenham fan-wise, were feeling anxious throughout that game is the commentary team of Sam Matterface and Glenn Hoddle didn't shut up for the entire match about how dodgy we were. And this, to me, fuels this kind of weird narrative that can be created by a commentary team or pundits, which then gets in people's heads that, oh, that's a problem. Now, last night, just off the top of your head, without really deep analysing it, you saw Vicario come and claim the ball several times. One time he dropped it into the guy, but then claimed it on the second attempt, but that can happen.
Yep.
But you saw it. Came through a crowd to do a punch from a corner at one point, cleared the lines.
Yeah, a few times. He was kind of up at the edge of his box, any balls coming in from deep, he was claiming them.
Now, how would you feel if I told you that Opta, so the statisticians for European Football Premier League, pointed out that his rate of claiming the ball and doing that was no different last night than any other game this season?
Wow.
Now, in your mind, now, don't get me wrong, because I'm saying, in your mind, that doesn't make sense, does it? Because in your mind, there's an issue with him coming to claim the ball.
He doesn't like coming off his goal line, and he doesn't like claiming the ball. Yep.
Now, that is from Gary Neville. Gary Neville has made that to the point that every single time Tottenham play, that's all he talks about. Even if we've not, like, it might not be a corner, or Tottenham have got an issue with corners. We've conceded from corners, definitely. But, you know, we've conceded from open. Yeah. It isn't an issue. The issue is that it's being talked about as an issue. It's insane. And last night, from start to finish, Glenn Hoddle was a god as a football player. I thought he was a great coach. I think as a pundit, he's a bit annoying. And I think his commentary is bleached for the ears. It is appalling. And I hate saying that because he's a club legend, but please never put Hoddle on commentary again. Because for me, Glenn Hoddle has his way of football, and if it's not his way of football, he thinks it's crap. So all he did last night was like, oh, the fullbacks are up there, they shouldn't be there, they should be there. That's how we play.
Yeah,
that is our system.
A couple of times he kind of dug out Porro or Gray in the second half because Tottenham are really open at the back with no fullbacks, and I'm like,
they're doing.
No, we have fullbacks, and the defenders are covering it with the midfield coming back. Like, we know how to play this style of football. Like, this is the way we.
But don't you think that perhaps that was making you feel nervous?
Yeah, quite possibly.
Yeah, so that's. I just want to put that out. I just
That
want to say,
subconscious kind
yeah,
of
because
thing in the back
it was
of the head,
constant. The whole game. Oh, Tottenham are really open at the back. Oh, Tottenham are this. Tottenham are that. Tottenham are this. I mean,
Yeah,
all
'cause I
right.
think I even put in our group chat about the fact that Gray kept getting caught out in
Yeah.
midfield and not
Yeah.
getting back, and I'm like, but wait a minute, so do Porro and Udogie. Like they have defenders to cover them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It is like a constant drip feed that all of a sudden makes you feel anxious, makes you feel. But then, like if you step away from it now and think back over that game, yeah, they had some chances, but so did we. Like the game, it wasn't a game of backs against the wall. Oh my god, we got so dominated. You know, we largely ran that game. It was a European tie away, great atmosphere there, and we won. And yet, the way it made it feel, the whole game was like, oh god, we're gonna get battered.
And like we were able to play players like Will, Mikey, Archie.
Yeah, so
Bergvall played really well in midfield, I think.
Yeah, he ran it. Yeah, he looked knackered.
He ran it. I think that one of my only issues I had with the whole game was that when Maddison came on, he looked like a player who was pissed off he didn't get an England squad. And instead of playing like I'm going to prove why I should be in it, for me, I think he just looked way kind of. I don't want to say like he was sulking, but he didn't look anywhere near as what we've seen this season. Yeah, and I don't know if that whole not getting in the England squad had an effect on it.
Yeah,
I look on the ball.
I can't speak to that at all any more than you. You know, that's speculation. But
yeah,
I did feel, and again, I think I said it to you last night. I did feel he came on and just didn't
very casual.
Yeah, casual. Yeah, that was it. That was the word. He just looked like he didn't seem committed. Like coming on, it just felt like
that free kick that he kind of took short to Kulusevski, but actually pretty much played it to the referee, and Kulu had to sprint across to get a shot away.
Yeah, all of it
things
was
like
sloppy.
that. I'm like, that's you wouldn't have done that at the weekend against United.
No. So that was weird. So I'm just going to walk through a couple of players. Your thoughts on Will Lancashire, his kind of proper senior debut.
Had a couple of chances. One that came off his shoulder that he could have possibly done better with.
Yeah.
And there was one later on again. He had a good chance.
That was the one for me. I was expecting to see it hit the back of the net. To be honest with you, the header, I thought was quite a snap chance. I mean, I don't think he was expecting Werner to get the ball in the way he did, and it came off his shoulder, not his head. So I think that was kind of one of those. It was also fairly early in the game for him. But the one where the ball came to him and he had that chance to stand the keeper and finish, and the guy managed to tackle him. Now I'm going to say this, right? Under 21 level, that he probably gets a penalty for that. just to point that out. I think
at under 21 level, he's probably taken the chance a bit quicker and actually scored it.
Yeah, there's that
because
as well.
His confidence at under 21 level is phenomenal.
Yeah, so he, I was genuinely, when I saw that to him, I was genuinely expecting to see that at the back of the net. I was really quite confused, but he did take that extra second. Now, he needs to learn that, and he is learning that, which is you don't get that. So
at this level,
so it will come. But I was quite pleased with what I saw from him. His movement, his strength, etc., was really good.
He was asking for the ball and stuff. Yeah, I'm happy with his performance.
Gray, we've discussed. I think positionally there's some issues there, but the guy played central defence, then left back, two positions, very alien to him.
I think Ange came out and congratulated him. Ange came out in the press and said about how he was really pleased that he played two positions at his position and he put the effort in. And that's all you can really ask for. Yeah,
and I thought he was committed. We mentioned Bergvall, very happy with Bergvall. And the guy...
He looked so good on the ball. I know I've said it before, but I'll say it again. He does look like a talent.
Yeah, he's a good player. Mikey Moore, your thoughts on Mikey? Have you played the full game?
One of our own. He is a talent. Like, he is something else, that kid. The fact that he can be, like, 17 years old, demanding the ball off players.
Yeah.
Taking players on. We saw him come on against United at the weekend.
Yeah.
and start taking on these like
you
veteran
love bringing
players.
up Man United, don't you? It's just like all the
That
time.
was the last game.
Can't talk about Ferencvaros. You just got to keep going back
I
to Man
can't
United.
pronounce them, let alone talk about them.
Yeah.
But like he gets the ball and he takes players on and he's demanding the ball off players and he's trying to create chances for himself and other players.
Yeah.
Like the build up to the first goal.
Yeah.
He gets the ball, brings it inside, takes on players and puts the ball into the box, which then ends up with Papasar scoring. And yeah, he has got an ability there, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he possibly could have had an assist. He picks the ball up wide, does very well, delivers a fantastic ball into the box.
To the wrong player.
And Timo Werner fluffs his lines completely. It was one where you just want to open your body and smash it past the keeper, but he tries to then beat the keeper but overhits it, and yeah, it's just a mess.
And then skews it off into the crowd.
Now, Timo, you were pretty vindictively vicious in our group chat about Timo. Like you were downright, he's shit and he's all this.
Yep.
There's two things with this. There is a blind person can see he is devoid of confidence. Like he is someone who desperately needs a goal, desperately needs something to happen for him which goes well for him to suddenly believe he's a footballer again. Do you know what I mean? You can really see that there's something like he's struggling. Right? You generally see. I also think when you look at his relatively few touches in the game, in the position he's playing is the role where Sonny plays, and Sonny also has had relatively few touches in the game, and I kind of feel like perhaps...
Yeah, we mentioned it, we were talking about this in the group chat, I know, like, there seems to be something in our play at the moment where we are very heavily focused on the right wing.
Yeah.
That does seem to be something like the amount of games this season already where people have been like Sonny was non-existent. Like he didn't even get into the game. Not like Sonny had a bad game; he just wasn't in the game.
I think the key
something there.
The key difference is, of course, is Sonny is picking up assists. Sonny has picked up a couple of goals as well.
Yeah.
Whereas Werner, is missing his chances. Sonny is taking them. Werner's missing them. Now Werner, of course, could have had an assist in this game early on. You know, his delivery to Lancashire was fantastic, and probably Solanke scores that effort. You know, you put odds on Richie scoring that as well. Lancashire's a young kid, and he's kind of snatched it a little bit, and has ended up hitting his shoulder. I genuinely don't think he was expecting that level of cross coming in, because you know Werner had to beat his man and deliver it. So I think he was expecting perhaps it to get driven across the ground, if anything, but it was a fantastic cross. Now, so he could have come away from that game with an assist, and all of us would have gone like, yeah, he's missing his chances, but at least he's contributing, which is what we want from him, by the way. We want him to be contributing. Now, last season, he had a 1 in 2 goal contribution. When he played, he either got an assist or he scored every other game. That's what you kind of want. That's why we extended his loan. This season, he's not achieved that at all. This season, he's not achieved anything. And we are creating chances for him because of his pace, and he is fluffing his lines every single time. Now, I remember years and years ago, Tottenham signed a Norwegian striker called Stefan Iversen. And Stefan Iversen, at the club he was at before, scored for fun. And he came to England, couldn't hit a friggin' barn door. It was awful. And I can't remember who our coach was at the time, but whoever it was sat him down with a video of himself and said, watch this. This is like our scouting tape of you. Look at all the goals you're scoring. Just like, that's you. Like, that is you. You've not lost that. Like, this is you as a player. And he scored a hat-trick in his next game for us. Now, I'm not saying that works. I'm not saying someone needs to sit Timo down with a DVD. But it just... Someone needs to sit with him and just go, you do know you're good at this, right? You do know that, like, you've not lost... Like, you don't need to panic. You don't need to be fearful. Like, you are good at this. The one thing I'd say as well is last night, after he fluffed that, Ange hooked him right away. And it felt very much like, oh, I've had enough of you.
Ange hooked him because I think if Ange hadn't have hooked him, Mikey Moore was going to go over and thump him for missing that chance.
Yeah.
The look he got from Mikey Moore when that one went, I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I just, like, for me, I just see the level of abuse on social media and stuff like that. And I just look at it and I think to myself, I am disappointed in the way he's playing and his form is poor. I know there's a player there. I've seen it. We've all seen it. There is just someone who is devoid of confidence, and for me, he needs support through this, not berating. You know, this whole narrative of Brennan Johnson is proof that bullying works, for me, is just awful.
Yeah, let's not make that a thing, that's for sure.
Now, speaking of Brennan Johnson, that's 5 goals in 5 games.
5
winners. Yep. Don't do that. He is in that kind of vein of form where if he hits it, it's hitting the target. I mean, he hit a hell of a shot after coming on to hit the bar. I thought that was in.
Yeah.
He connected with that so beautifully. I love it when you see someone connect with a shot like that. It's like the ball doesn't move. You know what I mean? It's like it's a rocket.
Yeah. What I love as well is if you look at his last couple of games and the goals that he's been scoring.
Yeah.
Minus the one at the weekend, which was obviously the tap in from that great run.
Yeah. Who was that against again? Sorry, that was...
some team up north, I think.
Yeah.
But each one of those sort of chances, it's a case of he's taking the ball with like 1 or 2 touches onto his right and just drilling it across.
Yeah.
And it's like he's suddenly gone, oh, this works.
He scored with his left foot last night, didn't he?
He did. He did. He played it across, yeah.
Yeah.
So that was a lovely goal. Lovely goal.
It was, yeah. Yeah.
But no, what I say is that shot you say at the rocket thing,
yeah.
I think he's got that confidence now of knowing he can take a touch out to his right and hit it.
Yeah.
And it's that confidence that he didn't have at the start of the season. He's now got, right, one touch and hit it.
Yeah. I'm really pleased for him. He seems like a nice lad, so he deserves it. I just hope everyone stays on board and supports him, because obviously it's not going to go on forever. I mean, it'd be lovely to think it will, but it won't go
40
on
games, 40 goals, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's not bad for a Welsh winger in a Tottenham shirt.
No.
Best we've ever had. Anyway, no, that's a...
Yeah.
I mean, Cliff Jones was phenomenal. So the next game is Brighton away. And Brighton away is a tough fixture. Brighton are a very good side. But there's a part of this fixture which is kind of like a... I don't want to go like a subplot, which I absolutely love, because it is football nerdy. And this is fun for me, okay?
Okay, so I have an affiliation with this, but I feel like it's a very different one to yours. So
go on then, what's yours?
See, mine is Tottenham versus Brighton was a cup game, and it was the first competitive game I went to at White Hart Lane with my granddad.
Okay, well, that's nice. I like that.
And then the first competitive game I went to the new stadium at with my granddad was the Brighton game.
Okay, well, that's nice. That's a nice personal
He took me to White Hart Lane, and then I took him to the new stadium.
That's very nice. I like that. So that is a nice personal thing. For me, this is a... Which team in the Premier League do you think holds the highest line for defensive line on the pitch?
Oh, Tottenham and Brighton. The game is going to be played just in the centre circle.
Just ruined my whole thing. I was like, which team? Oh, Tottenham and Brighton. That's not what I asked. Which team holds the highest?
You were getting at.
Yeah, okay. But that's... You ruined it. You ruined it, you Man United fan. You ruiner. Anyway, I'm going to mute his mic. So Tottenham have the highest line, and the second highest line in the league is Brighton. So we are going to see the battle of the two highest defensive lines. Now, to me, this is going to go one of two ways. This game is either going to be goal nuts, or one of the two teams are going to blink and change. Now, they're at home. I don't see them changing how they play. We've got Ange as our coach. I don't see us changing how we... So, This is going to be mental. I mean, I genuinely think it's going to be crazy.
I agree. Have you unmuted me now?
Yeah. You're
I'm
fine.
back. I do. Like, this is going to be a game literally played in the centre circle. Like, it's going to be nuts because we're not going to be able to push that far into their half because they're going to be on the halfway line. They're not going to be able to push into our half because we're on the halfway line. The game is literally going to be played on like a horizontal line across the middle, like just in the halfway line.
Yeah.
It's going to be nuts.
Yeah, well, potentially it's going to be mental, or it's going to be two teams that have gone into this knowing this, and they're like, "Aha, we're going to vary it just to throw the other team off," and both teams are going to be like, "Ah, shit, we both
teams play with 5 at the back, and everyone goes, "What the?"
Yeah, and both teams are going to be looking at each other like, "Oh, we tried that. Oh, we thought you'd. That's funny. Okay, yeah, no. So yeah, it's going to be kind of crazy. I'm looking forward to it. We've been playing well. Brighton are a good team, but they do give you opportunities. I do think that in the form we've shown, we're able to take those chances when they come out, or at least some of them.
Their last game was the 4-2 against Chelsea, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Where they just exploited the high line. So hopefully we can do the same.
Well, we shall see. Now, that is our next game. So prediction for the game: Brighton at home, Tottenham.
3-1.
2.
Tottenham.
Okay. You're going 3-1. I mean, we've been playing really well. 5 wins in a row. So I'm going 2-1 Brighton. Also, just a quick mention: Dominic Solanke's got an England call up.
First time. Now, it's his first call up in 7 years.
Yeah.
He's 26. So he was 19 when he got his last call up.
Yeah.
A friendly against Brazil.
Yeah.
That's a long overdue, isn't it?
Well, see, one of these things I don't like in football, right?
Yeah.
So there's 2 parts to this. One, he's just found form and rhythm for us. Please don't take him in
100% he's getting injured.
That would really piss me off.
Yeah.
But 2, last season for Bournemouth, he was phenomenal. He scored 19 goals. His Premier League level, he was fantastic. Why is it that now he's moved to Tottenham, he's getting a call up, whereas he didn't get one when he was at Bournemouth? I don't like that.
He should have gone to the Euros over Ivan Toney, who had missed half a season and only scored 4 or 5 goals through the second half of the season.
Yeah, but then
he should have gone over him.
We wouldn't have got the no-look Ivan Toney penalty in that game, and that was amazing.
Well, yeah.
that was so
that was
mad.
The highlight of his Euros,
that was so insane. And now, just off the back of that, he's earning like $600,000 a week.
He's right,
but yeah, I don't like that. That infuriates me. Like, you're looking at him last season, you should have been picking him. So if I was a Bournemouth fan, I'd be looking at this going, "Oh, fuck you."
I think this is something the New England coach has kind of come out and said, and he gave an interview, was it last night or this morning? And he basically said, "I will not be doing copy and paste England squads."
Yeah.
He's dropped Eze, he's dropped Maguire, Livramento, and someone else. Have all been dropped because they're either not playing or not playing that well.
Yeah.
And he's brought other players in. Now, for me, that's a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
Like, he's actually looking at players going, right, who's actually playing well at the moment? You guys are. You're coming to the England squad. Which is nice.
It is in a way.
If he'd been in charge last season, I think Solanke would have definitely got a call up.
Potentially, yeah. I mean, this isn't just 1 or 2 coaches. This is a long time. Like, I've been watching football my whole life, and you see a player play brilliantly for one club, then he moves to one of the perceived bigger clubs, and all of a sudden they get international honours, and you're like, really? Like, why weren't they? Yeah, no,
I do completely agree with you.
And yet you watch, like, some teams in the Premier League, some teams in the Championship even, and the players from all over the world, and they're getting picked for their country.
It's considering England have got such a problem with left back, you would think if Leif Davis at Ipswich, he goes and joins a top 6 team, he's getting an England squad.
Oh yeah, Leif Davis.
Even though he's he is one of the best left backs statistically in the Premiership this season.
He signs for that shit you support, Man United, and he's an England player straight away. And it's ridiculous. It's like mad that whole thing is a thing. It's yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
So congratulations to Dominic Solanke. Just wanted to kind of say that. I think it's deserved. I think he's been good, but at the same time, I just think it's a little bit kind of naff that that's happened now, not before.
It should have been last season, definitely.
Yeah. But that is our show. I managed to do it. I managed to do every single thing on my list.
Oh, I'm proud of you.
And it's basically an hour. Oh, it's the first time in ages. I'm dead happy with that.
It is. No tangents, no.
No. I was pretty strict. I was kind of focused, and we got there. So that is our show. Big thank you to everybody for listening. As always, you can get in touch with us via all the socials or email sam@spursnews.co.uk. I read all the emails, and even the not very nice ones. But yeah, I do read all of it, so thank you for getting in touch. We will be back next week to discuss the Brighton game, to do a loan update for all our players, and also to dive a little bit deeper into the Polynesian Dan question, which is around the squad building, where we're at this year, and how can that be improved for next year, in the hoping that we are continuing in European competition. So that'd be fun.
Well, yeah, if we win the Europa League, we get Champions League to win now. So,
yeah. Sorry. win something.
I don't know why you're laughing. Yeah.
Because it's funny.
Second season, mate. Second season.
It's just the Man United fan in you. You think we win stuff. Anyway, a big thank you to everybody for listening. Like I said, we will be back next week. Until then, everybody, you all take care.
Come on, you Spurs.
Thank you for listening to the Spurs News Podcast. We hope that you enjoyed the show. Stay up to date with all things Tottenham. Follow us on social media. All links are in the podcast description.